The warning signs that are missed, you're going to have a lot of people trying to put together information about this guy, who knew about him, what he was thinking, whether he was talking to anyone about this planned attack. Were some of those warning signs missed, and what does it all mean to security expert Paul Viollis? Paul, what do you think? What is the first thing you want to start pursuing here?
I want to, but now that they have executed the search warrant, Neil, I want to look at his computer, his laptop, his phone. I want to see who he called, when he called them, how long he stayed on the phone with them. I want to know the websites that he visited. Every piece of his history with respect to recent communications are going to be vital. The next part, remember, this is a layered investigation. So you have two crime scenes. You have where the shooter was inside the Mandalay Bay, and then you have the actual concert area. So they've got to work those crime scenes. They have so many people that they're going to have to interview in order to collect information. And then the last part of that, the tertiary part of the investigation, will come when they start interviewing neighbors, friends, where he went to a gun range, of things that he had said.
But he wouldn't have to necessarily be a sharpshooter or even a great shot, right, to be effective at this.
He wouldn't have to be a great shot, but he was smart enough to know the weapons to choose, the long guns he had, the ammunition that was going to fulfill what his mission.
What did you make of it? This is the third day of this country concert.
Right.
So he arrived presumably last Thursday.
Right.
We don't know how long it took him to get all that weaponry up there. I assume he did in stages, maybe not, but he was patient, took his time.
Yeah,
what do you make of that?
Well planned. There's no question about it. Remember, when he checked in, Neil, he had to ask for a room that was overlooking the concert area. So he selected the room exactly where he wanted, and he wanted it on a certain floor for the trajectory of shooting down. Sort of being
so
like
this venue, this concert venue, and the 20,000 plus that were there, some say it attracted more than 40,000, so we don't have the reliable numbers, but that was by design.
No question about that. He was looking for maximum impact, and that's what he got. And kudos to Las Vegas PD, Neil, because if they didn't respond as expeditiously as they did, there'd be a lot more dead people right now.
We don't know how long the whole thing lasted.
Right.
I've heard anywhere a few minutes to 12 minutes. Obviously, with all the weaponry he had, you could do a lot of damage, and obviously he did.
Right.
What else do you look for there? Obviously, on security cams, and particularly in the Vegas area, I mean, they're everywhere, and they're going to record everything.
Right. So initially, you get two components of that. The exterior perimeter cameras are going to look for where he went, and this is if they have artificial intelligence already built into those cameras, so that facial recognition, advanced software, things of that nature, to see who he may have met with, what he was driving, where he came from. And then you have the interior CCTVs. Inside, as we all know, in a casino, there's a plethora of cameras. You can't go anywhere without them, right? So they're going to track him, his movements, where he went. Again, did he meet with anybody? Because remember, Neil, part of this hotel is connected to a mall. So the points of access here are considerable. They're really going to have to forensically look at all his movements, from using technology to see exactly where he started and possibly if he had met with anybody else.
All right. At the very least, we'll know where he was on the floor, because we know his room, so there are cameras on the floor that can monitor when he, came, left his room, etc. What else do you look for if he's, besides meeting with people, and what if all of this proves everything he did alone?
Well, the next thing we're going to look for is how he got the weapons up there. Now, understanding the long guns can be broken down considerably and then stored. How many trips did he make up there? They're going to start interviewing housekeepers.
But you know why I didn't find that too alarming? We covered the Vegas debate, the presidential debate, and a lot of our camera crews, they bring up lots of stuff and all sorts of boxes and equipment, and they have these large dollies carrying back and forth. You don't even think twice about it.
No.
Maybe now people will.
Maybe now.
But it wouldn't draw suspicion, or would it?
No, it wouldn't draw suspicion. It's a casino. You try to stay there for as long as possible. Remember, it's a balance of security and customer service. So that wouldn't draw suspicion. Now, maybe this will change that dialogue. There'll be a different communication and conversation about it now. Maybe they'll consider starting to screen bags at hotels. I don't know. But for today, for this particular incident, no, that wouldn't have caused suspicion whatsoever.
I'm sure there are a lot of security officials throughout the country, especially in urban areas, maybe even Times Square here in New York, right around the block from us. They're looking up. And now they're tourists and people down below. looking up.
Right.
How do you stop them from doing that?
Well, you don't, and that's part of the mission of somebody like this, to send a macro message. Remember, he wasn't targeting one person, Neil. He targeted an event. He wanted to send a macro message, and that's what he did. I don't know that you're going to stop people from a certain degree of trepidation of what they're going to attend or looking up in the air. I mean, he's changed a lot of communications with this particular incident.
Do you think he's changed it for hotels and all that might use magnetometers now for your luggage and everything else?
I don't know.
Should they?
You know what? It's a business call. How many? That's a huge fixed capital cost, and are they really? How many people are really going to spend the money because of the incident? We'll have to see how that shakes out.
All right, Paul. Very good seeing it. I always say on these type of events,
but it's always
good. Same here, my
yes,
friend.
Sir.
Thank you.